we're going to take a break from letters for today, and we're going to talk about creating tabs, because some of the letters we do later, we're going to have a section where we use some tabs in there. So when we hit the tab key on our keyboard, when we hit the tab key on our keyboard, it moves our insertion point a ½ inch every time that we hit the tab key. Well, sometimes we want to set a tab in a place other than those default settings, which are a ½ inch every time. So we can set them and also change the type of tab that we set. Just like we have different alignments for our text in our paragraphs, we can also change alignment around a tab stop. So if we create a tab, we can center text at that spot. We can make it left aligned from that tab spot. We can make it right aligned at that tab stop, or we can also use what's called a decimal tab, which lines numbers up by the decimal point. There's other tabs that are called bar tabs that make a vertical line every time that you hit your tab key as well. So we'll talk about that later, and some things called leaders later. So first thing we want to do, like always, we're going to change it to no spacing, just because I want you to always be in the habit of doing that. And to set tabs, so far we've been mainly working with tools just right here on our ribbon, but we also have these little buttons in the corner of each group of our ribbon. That's called a launcher. That opens up a dialog box that takes us to more tools. So in your paragraph group, kind of looks like a backwards L with a little triangle in it, a little symbol that kind of looks like this. That's called your launcher. So in the paragraph group, click on that little launcher, and it should open a dialog box. And I don't know why mine is going. There it is. So there's some settings here that we can change, but we don't really need any of these settings for today. So what we're wanting is down at the very bottom left-hand corner of that box, there's a button that says tabs. We're going to click that button. Okay, so in this box, we can designate places using the ruler at the top of our screen. We turned it on a long time ago, I think. So we have to designate where on the ruler we want the tab to be, and the type of alignment that we're going to use with the tab. Later, we'll learn about this leader section, and it adds dots between, like a table of contents page. Maybe you have chapter 1 and it has a bunch of dots across and it tells you what page. Those are leaders. You don't just type periods across the page. So the leaders fill in the space that you need. So we're not going to do those today, but tomorrow we'll look at those. Okay, so the first tab that we're going to set, we're going to start in this box up here where it says tab stop position. We're going to set a tab at 3/4 of an inch. So I can't type fractions into this box. I have to put it in decimal form. So what's the decimal form of 3/4? That would be 3.4 inches. Say it again. 0.75 is the same as 3/4. So 0.75. Okay, we want to leave this one as a left tab. So in the alignment section, I'm going to leave it as left. And then I'm going to hit set. So it added my tab setting to this box right here. We're going to set some text up into columns. So we're going to create multiple tab settings. So the next tab that I want to set, I'm going to set at 2.5. So 2.5 on my ruler. And I want this one to be a center tab. So I'm going to change that setting right there. So 2.5 center, and I'm going to hit set again. 2.5 center set. So as we add the tabs, as we hit set, it adds them to our list here. You guys see how back there you go. Okay, don't close out of it, Gary, we're not done. We'll go back to paragraph one, sure, and go back to tabs, we're still studying tabs, we're not done. Okay, then we're gonna set a third tab at 5.5, so 5.5. We want it to be a right tab. We always have to hit set after we put them in there, so it adds them to our list.
I got it right, you said?
Right.
This is hard stuff.
And then we're gonna click OK. So after I have those 3 tabs set, if I look at my ruler, I've got some new symbols on there that indicate where my tabs are set. So at 3/4 of an inch, there's a little L on the ruler. That indicates a left tab. Is anybody's ruler not turned on? So go to your view tab. And in the show group, put a little checkbox next to ruler. Click in the box. Then a center tab looks like an upside down T. So it's 2.5. And then our right tab looks like a backwards L. So the marks on the ruler indicate that you have a tab set and what kind of tab it is. Okay, so let's add some text to our page and see how our tab works. So to get to that first tab, and when we have these custom tabs set, the default tabs that are every half inch are now gone. So they're not there. It's only going to use the 3 tab settings that I have until I turn it off. Okay, so hit your tab key. It should jump over to 3/4 of an inch. And what are we going to type in this column? Let's put our first name. After your name, then hit your tab key. For the next one, let's put your favorite color. Just put 1 for now, it'll be fine.
How'd you get over there?
I hit tab again, not enter. Okay, then for our last tab, let's put the town that we live in or near.
First tab here? First tab a lot.
Okay, so our first name should be lined up on the left-hand side of that tab. The color that you put should be centered under that 2.5 mark, and then the town is going to end or be right aligned at that mark. So the last tab, you should have the town that you live in or near. You should have 3 words on your page. Okay, now we're going to enter twice. Hit your tab key. And now use the name of a person that sits near you. Then you're going to put their favorite color and the place that they live. Then do it again on the 3rd line. And if you live in LaGrange or LaBelle, the G and the V are capitalized. So you want 3 lines of text. So 2 people that sit near you, put their information into. 3 total. You and 2 people that sit near you.
Everybody makes their head.
Okay, don't say it, put your tab key.
BRE,
What do I
what?
enter?
Vernon, how you put it
Put your tab key here.
What?
in?
What do you have so far?
BRE.
It's on the board. A-N.
Okay.
What's your favorite color? Here's the city hat.
How don't you know your favorite color?
Yeah, it's pretty.
I don't know. Mine's blue.
Is blue really your favorite color?
No, I just know the color of
My favorite color is
Where
orange.
do you live?
So,
L-A-G.
where do you live?
Lagrange.
Why does LaGrange have two capitals in it?
I just said LaBelle and LaGrange both have.
Because
Don't stupid.
Durham.
I didn't even live in it. I was outside of it. And I didn't even know I was in the school.
We're talking about where it actually, I don't live anywhere.
The computer's telling me that his name is spelled fire.
Because his name is not in the dictionary.
Now my name's in the
Like
dictionary.
Okay, so all of your names in the first column should be lined up on the left-hand side. When you're using tabs, we don't need to use our space bar in between. We're using our tab key to take us to that point. We're not spacing over. If you try to space over to a certain point and line text up, you are never gonna have it perfectly lined up because some characters take up more space than others. So the tab key allows us to perfectly align it around the point that we want. So the first column with our names are all lined up on the left-hand side. Our colors are centered, so they're gonna move out around the middle. Then our names are gonna be right aligned at the edge of our page. Okay, so if for some reason you needed to make a change to your tabs that are already there, highlight your 3 names or your 3 lines of text that we created. So we're gonna make a change to one of our tabs. So to make a change, once your tabs are set, you have to highlight the text that's there to make the change.
Does your name count as one of the 3 people? Well.
Okay, so we're gonna change where on the ruler that our last tab is set at. So I highlighted my 3 lines of text. Then I'm gonna go back to my paragraph launcher and go to tabs. I can see my 3 tabs here in the tab top position, so I wanna change to 5.5. So I'm gonna click on it in that list. And instead of having it at 5.5, I want it at 5, so I'm just gonna backspace, get rid of the 0.5. I still want it to be a right tab, I just want it to be at 5 inches instead of 5.5. So then I'm gonna hit set, yep, always have to hit set to make the change. Oh,
5.5 is still down there.
it is, so we can remove it, it should have just changed it. So click on 5.5 and clear it.
It's still down.
Should be.
I didn't even watch out.
Okay.
Clear.
Oh, I didn't see clear. I just went back to it. Okay.
Okay, so once you have 5 instead of 5.5, click OK, and your text should have jumped over when you came back. So you can set tabs before you type text, or you can have your text typed there and then go in and set the tabs, but then you're just gonna have to hit your tab key to make it move. Okay? All right, so I have a handout for you. You're going to do a job and create some tabs on your own. So you can just close out of that document and open up a new one and click no spacing. You don't have to save that one. We were just practicing.